Hey guys, welcome in to the Bear With Us podcast. Immediate reaction to the Bears losing to the Giants 20-12. Whew, this one was a rough watch, probably for both teams. The Giants didn't look great either. I am going to start off on the offensive side of the ball because I think there was a lot more going on there. Firstly, you know, I think on the main episode we'll touch. Well, I think it's going to be me solo again. Jack is in Florida on vacation. This guy takes off more days than the fucking president of the United States. But the offensive side of the ball had a ton going on, and Justin Fields didn't have a bad game. I'm just going to throw that one out there. That's what I'm going to preface all of this with. The only throws he really missed was an overthrow to, I believe, Ebner on a rollout. And he definitely missed Mooney on that ball that hit the floor that got overturned with the challenge. Other than that, I thought he played really well. I thought his pocket presence was the best we've seen this season. I thought his decision making was pretty good. The only area that I want to see him improve, and this was really prevalent last year as well, I need him to step up into the pocket more than roll out. You're facing guys who are defensive ends or outside linebackers, depending on the scheme, who are extremely quick and who are coming very far off the edge. And if you continue to roll out, they're eventually going to get you. So I want him to move up in the pocket and continue to look downfield. Other than that, I thought Justin played fine. Two huge plays in which his weapons let him down. Dante Pettis has to catch that ball in the fourth quarter. It was a perfectly thrown ball right where it needed to be, and he just drops it. Would it have been a tough catch? Yes, but those are the plays that you have to make in the NFL. And then the play just before that, I forget who the backup tight end's name is. He has to make that play as well. Justin rolls out, does wonderfully getting that linebacker to come to him, little flick toss to the tight end, and he just drops it. That would have been a first down. That was two plays that were first downs. Other than that, Luke Getsy is not good at his job. It is what it is. We threw away the first game because it was a monsoon. You don't know what the hell was happening. Okay, whatever. Throw it out of the ballpark. Against the Packers, he plays right into their hands and he continues to run the ball down 14. Last week was a little bit better. This week, you're right back to this predictable run, pass bullshit. And you're also, what is happening in the red zone? There's no misdirection really all game. There was a few play action rollouts and that was about it. Other than that, he let Justin be, a pocket quarterback. But the one thing, whether or not you're sold on Justin Fields or not, the one thing I think we can all agree on as Bears fans, as NFL fans, as anyone who's watched Justin Fields, is he is a really fucking good runner of the football. Why are you not utilizing his legs inside of the 20, inside of the 10? What are we doing here? Luke Getsy, again, I know we're not working with the best group of receivers or tight ends or anything like that, or even potentially quarterback. But this, I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's Eberflus. I don't know if it's a mix of both. I can't go through another conservative scheme. I can't. You have to open this fucking thing up, man. Because there are times of brilliance where EQ is wide open. Dante Pettis is wide open. But then you have these times where it's like, how do you even have this job? Where it's 3rd and 15 and we're doing a tight end screen. 3rd and 6, we're doing a tight end screen. What are we doing here? Even 2nd and 18s, running the football still. Open it up. Throw the fucking ball. Again, if Field just loses us the game because he's throwing picks, I can live with that. I can live with the growing quarterback making mistakes. What I can't live with is another play caller who is just playing, who's coaching scared, who's calling plays to play for field goals. And then we get to the end of the game and we still have a shot. And the one crucial mistake by Velus Jones costs us because we didn't go for touchdowns earlier in the game. And it's not to excuse Velus Jones. That's inexcusable. You're literally, your only job right now is to be the punt returner and the kick returner. You cannot make those mistakes when that's literally your only job. We drafted you in the 3rd round. We were sold on you being an offensive playmaker. You've been hurt, so it is what it is. But you just can't let that happen. You can't fumble that ball, especially with nobody around you. It wasn't like, you didn't fair catch it and there was someone closing wide in. You had about 10 yards of distance between you and the defender. So, all in all, on the offensive side, super disappointing. Which brings me to the offensive line. Holy shit. Larry Borum At some point, you're going to have to start Riley Reef at right tackle. My frustration with Larry Borom right now isn't just that he's bad at right tackle this season. It's that Tevin Jenkins, for the second week in a row, has been taken out of the starting lineup, and they're doing this rotation thing. But the reason has been that he hasn't had good practices. A good Wednesday practice is what's been told to us. Okay, but he comes in game day and he looks really fucking good at right tackle. Meanwhile, Lucas Patrick is getting the fucking doors blown off him at right guard and left guard. I say all that to say, if we're taking Tevin Jenkins out of right guard because of bad or not good Wednesday practices, why is Larry Borom still in at right tackle when he's having bad games? He's an open door out there. What is that? The swivel door, the swindle door. I mean, he has not been good. And I've already touched on it, but Lucas Patrick, holy shit. I hope Lucas Patrick is better at center than he is at guard, because he's not a good right guard. As soon as Cody Whitehair went down, he was not a good left guard. Lucas Patrick, that is. And he was our first free agent signing. He was the guy that was supposed to bring the physicality to this to this offensive line. He was supposed to be the guy to help build that identity. Again, maybe he's being played out of position, and maybe he's a better center. And we take all this frustration back. But yeah, that offensive line was really bad. And people blaming, Justin Fields for him not necessarily trusting that O-line, even when he did presumably have time. After a while, you getting pressured in under 2 seconds starts to get to you. That internal clock starts to speed up. So I would rather Justin Fields, look at his first option and then start to scramble or just go for a run than him staying in there and get killed. It is what it is. I mean, those seem to be the options right now. I think my last point on offense, Treston Ebner cannot be a part of this offense at running back. I don't know where his quickness and speed went. He looks like slow and out of shape all of a sudden. We saw him in college. We saw the highlights. He looked like a bigger Tariq Cohen. We saw him in the preseason. He looked like a bigger Tariq Cohen. He looked fast. He looked quick. Now he looks like an out of shape CJ Anderson. Like, I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know if he started bulking and decided he wanted to be Khalil Herbert, but I don't know. And it's not even just his quickness in speed or explosion. His vision is awful. He missed like 2 or 3 cutbacks that could have gone for a first down. Like, if that was either Monty, who was hurt obviously, or Herbert, I fully believe those runs would have been first downs. But yeah, I mean, the frustrations on offense, man. We had a drive start at like the 45 and we lose yardage because Lou Getsy, I forget what the call was. It was a hold or something, but then he gets conservative after that. Dude, we're basically at midfield. We're at the 50. You have to be aggressive here. It's mind-boggling, and I think the frustration is starting to get to me because we were sold on how much Luke Getsy's scheme was going to help out this talent-deprived offense. And, one of the points that I hearken back to, and it wasn't even really a point, it was just sort of throwing it out there of like the episode that me and Jack did about why the Bears are going to be bad this year. We did both. So we did like why they'll make the playoffs and sort of painting that picture, and then we did a why will they be bad. And one of my reasons was, well, they could be really bad because what if we were just sold on another bill of goods? Just what if Luke Getsy isn't good? What if it's another Matt Nagy situation? And I don't think it's that, because I think his overall scheme is better than what Matt Nagy did, but his decision making isn't very far off. His conservative nature isn't very far off. It's been a drag to watch, and you guys know, anyone who's watched an episode, that's my angle. Losing this year, I don't care if we lose. We're a rebuilding, retooling, whatever word you want to use. We're that team. We're not supposed to be good, but be fun to watch. Look at the Lions every fucking week. It's 40 to 35 every single week, and that offense is moving. I will take that over having to watch this dreadfully boring, we have to be extremely perfect and settle for field goals type of team. I don't want that to be the Bears. And if that means that we, lose an extra 3 or 4 games because we were actually going for it and we were actually trying to develop our quarterback versus playing this way and being, playing conservative, so be it. But it's not happening. This doesn't look very different from, year 2 or year 3 Matt Nagy offenses, which is very, very annoying. We'll switch over to the defensive side of the ball before I get out of here. What am I at? About 10 minutes. I got 5 more minutes for you guys. I went longer on the offense than I thought I would. There was some timely mistakes, or misplays, I should say, by the defense. First of all, Morrow missing that tackle on third down. I forget, maybe it was on Saquon. Oh, yeah, it was the Saquon little flick pass in the backfield where you have to make that play. You absolutely have to make. I mean, that's a game, like quite literally a game changer with the way everything played out. And then the same exact thing is to be said about Roquan Smith. Roquan, again, if you want to get this fucking $20 million a year, which you're not going to get from the Bears, if anyone else pays you that, good luck. There's no shot. You have to make these types of plays. The Roquan one was like 3rd and 12. Or it was 3rd and long. I'm making up numbers here at this point. I didn't jot down what it was. But again, that's a play that Roquan has to make if he thinks he's an elite linebacker in this league. It doesn't matter the scheme at that point. Maybe you don't fit the cover 2 in the long, the grand scheme of things. But it doesn't matter if you're running a 3-4, a 4-3, a 3-3, you can run whatever the fuck you want. Roquan, you have to make that play. You have to make that tackle. It's not a scheme thing at that point. It's you in open field with a running back, and you're supposed to be elite. You have to make the play. Just point blank, period. Really, the biggest thing on defense, though, was our inability to have any sort of contain on the outside. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we were not scared of Daniel Jones throwing the football. I think that was very clear with this, with this scheme. But I think, and granted, they were better with it in the second half. They weren't getting burned as much on those RPOs where either Jones or the backup, I'm blanking on who, Tyrod Taylor, we're tucking it and running. We were much better in the second half. But those first half mistakes, I feel like it's a very easy adjustment because you're still not scared of him throwing the ball. He didn't really do much with his arm. But you can't break contain. It's like, they knew they were going to be running the ball, whether it be with Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley. But then you have your defensive ends like pass rushing the whole time, like going inside. At that point, I mean, you can maybe even send some A-gap blitzes. You can maybe just, have one spy, whether it be a D-end or Roquan or someone at linebacker, Morrow, something. You have to adjust to that sooner. But I think a bright side on the defense, before I get to a really ugly side of the defense, which I think is where I'll end it next. But Eddie Jackson looks really, really good in this defense. I was one that said that this was going to be a big year for him. Not like predicting he was going to have a good year, but meaning like this is make or break for you. And he has been really good, going back to his natural position, more of the center field type of thing, more of the, just play the ball, be a ball hog type of guy. Fun to watch. Which brings me to my last point, because we got to end on negativity here, because it's just been an awful Bears team to watch thus far. We picked, and let me not rewrite history. Before the NFL draft, I literally asked Jack on this very podcast, I said, Jack, would you be upset in the second round if we picked a cornerback? Because we were very talent deficient in our secondary last year. We both said no. We're like, no, if one of the 2 second round picks is a corner, we need it. We did say we don't want a safety, okay? We picked a corner and a safety, and we weren't very happy about the safety. With all that being said, Jaquan Brisker looks really good. Let me throw that one out there. That's not who I'm talking about here. Kyler Gordon has had probably the worst start to a season that you can have for a cornerback, or the worst start to your career, I should say. He has been bad. He has been absolutely picked on. He has been torched. Whatever verbiage you want to use, it is true for Kyler Gordon. He has not looked good. And then I look over to the other side of the ball, and I see, Dante Pettis not getting separation. I see EQ not getting separation. I see, Mooney starting to make plays, but probably not a real wide receiver one. And I think about the guys who were on the board in that second round over Kyler Gordon, or even Jaquan Brisker. For as good as Jaquan Brisker has been, I've loved him so far. He's been playing really well, outside of the few rookie mistakes that are to be expected. George Pickens would have been, that's who I wanted. I wanted him or Alec Pierce. And obviously Alec Pierce has had his struggles in Indy, but George Pickens in this offense is absolutely needed. I mean, because you sort of justified it with, well, you know what? Velus Jones, he's NFL ready. He's 25 years old. Maybe he's the guy, to be the answer, or somewhat of an answer on the offensive side. But he's just a special teamer right now. He's not playing offense right now. And granted, I know he's been hurt, but still, I don't know how many offensive snaps he had this game, but he didn't touch the ball on offense this game. It was only special teams. And I just think I'm watching Kyler Gordon get absolutely burned. And I'm sitting here thinking, why did we not pick George Pickens? That's literally my thought every single time. And don't get it twisted. I was very high on him after I liked it because we needed a cornerback. I'm not trying to rewrite history and act like I never wanted him. I liked the pick when it happened. But my preference was to get 2 receivers anyway in the second round because we just needed weapons. And we decided to get 0, and we picked a kid in the 3rd, the oldest rookie, by the way, which, I don't care about, but I know a lot of people are going to bring that up, but who isn't contributing at all on offense when he's healthy. So a lot has to be fixed, man. Luke Getsy has got to just start being more aggressive, first and foremost. We win this game if any one of those field goal drives ends in a touchdown. Well, maybe not wins. Well, it changes the whole landscape of the game. The fumble doesn't mean as much with with Velus Jones. It may not even happen because the situation is totally different. We need touchdowns. Luke Getsy needs to play for touchdowns. If that means going forward on 4th and short at the 50, go forward on 4th and short at the 50. If that means using Justin Fields' legs in the red zone, God damn it, use his legs in the red zone. That's his biggest threat right now. He looks phenomenal running the ball. I'm frustrated, y'all. I am, and it's not because we're losing. I said we were going to win 5 to 7 games this year, and that's what we're going to do. It's what we're on pace for. But this is ugly. This is ugly football. I'm over being an ugly football fan. I want us to be fun to watch, and if we continue to have games like this, it will not be fun to watch. I'm going to gather my thoughts. I'm going to refrain from breaking anything as I watch replays and stuff of this game. And I will be back, I think, without Jack Wednesday. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe to this podcast. These immediate reactions are only on YouTube, but the full episodes are on YouTube as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, really anywhere that you can listen to a podcast, we're there. So like, share, subscribe, give us that 5-star rating. I appreciate everyone who joined, and I will catch everyone in a couple of days. Later, y'all.